We're live! It is the final time we're going to be doing one of these normal podcast episodes for the 2023 season. We're here. Post-championship weekend. A fun Phoenix weekend. I'm not sure what Sal's doing down there. But we've got our guy Wessel celebrating a championship. Look at you, Wessel, on your phone.
He looks so fucking happy.
Ryan Blaney, Cup Series champion. Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah.
No shit. Can you even hear us?
Sorry, I was stoned out. I got a text message.
That's okay.
Wessel's
How we
going,
feeling,
"Fuck."
Wessel? Ryan Blaney is the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. Everybody in this league picked it except for me. And you all were right,
Mike.
and I wasn't. Fuck me, I guess. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wessel, how do you feel?
Feels good, man. Feels amazing.
What were the nerves watching that race?
Man, every time he got next to around Ross Chastain, it was God damn, dude. I was about to pull my fucking hair out. I was like, no. Sitting at the edge of my fucking bed watching the goddamn TV.
Yeah, you know, being in that situation, Sal and I were in it in 2020. Tegan was in it in 2014. For us Chase fans, it was just hoping there wasn't going to be a caution.
Which mine did, by the way.
I was the same way, too, because Blaney was, I think, the fastest car during the race. But God, he was just not, pit road just wasn't helping.
I guess he is. Hell yeah, chicken dipping sauce, baby, yeah!
But yeah, I was afraid of a caution coming out because I knew there would be a pit stop, and I knew Blaney would come out 5 spots behind where he went in at. So I was just hoping
what's
for
your
no
birthday?
cautions.
That's what I was getting ready to ask. Since he's watching,
Yeah.
it's getting ready to be April the 1st.
As you were saying, that the pit crew was really trying to choke it for Blaney there, I think.
It's been the thorn in his heel all year.
Thorn in his side or Achilles heel, whatever one you were going to pick there. You picked heel
He mixed both of them.
Both.
His driver's
I like
a
it.
NASCAR champion.
Thorn in the
He can
heel.
say whatever he wants.
He's just happy.
You can't walk
That's
right
good.
if you got a thorn in the heel.
That's a good point. He sure
Stepping on
walked
your dick.
fast, though. That's true. We'll talk about it each individually, but Wessel, wanted to get to you first since you're the guy celebrating it. Personally, I'll go first on my thoughts on this race. I thought it was the best championship race we've had at Phoenix. 2020 was pretty boring. It was only good for me because that happened. 2021 was a pretty frustrating race to watch, aero-wise. Last year was also kind of boring. It seemed like Logano dominated, and also it sucked because of that. And I thought this year, you know, I know it's hard to pass and people are going to complain about it, but I was really, really into the race. You had comers and goers. You had Harvick and Byron up there early. Then you had Blaney come up there. You had Chastain, Truex, Buescher. So a lot of guys get up to the lead some laps. Chastain ended up leading the most laps. I think he led 100 and something. Don't really think he had the fastest car, though.
Tegan's gone.
Yeah, Tegan just left.
Tegan's back.
I don't really think Chastain had the best car. It's tough to say. I think Blaney was a little bit better. Chastain was just doing a really good job manipulating the air to hold Blaney behind him. And I think we saw a lot of something we really haven't seen before, which is the non-championship drivers racing the championship four guys pretty aggressively throughout. You saw Truex making moves to get to the front. Chastain was kind of aggressive with Blaney. People really didn't care, I don't think, a lot of the time. I thought actually one of the more courteous people in the field was Ryan Newman yesterday.
It was.
Look, this was right when he was yelling. I think this was right after he had flipped off Ross. And I was like, all right, he's pissed off. And then I saw that fucking 51 car. I was like, oh my God. Worst luck is this guy trying to pass the two hardest fucking drivers in the goddamn field.
We're about to see some Ron on Ron
Like,
balance.
this is not gonna fucking work well. And I was
Newman got right out of the way for every.
Well, I will say
championship
this: I think
contender.
NASCAR was on the radios a lot, asking or basically demanding the lap cars not play a factor. So
yeah, I wish they'd do that more often. Maybe
especially with Newman,
yeah.
wish somebody shoot his tires out sometimes.
Man, there's nothing worse than a guy that's hard to pass, and there's nothing worse than a guy that's hard to pass that runs fucking dead last almost every week.
That's true.
It's fucking Ryan Newman.
Especially in this car because they can be just as much as the way as the fucking leader. So
NASCAR man's here, Hall of Famer. My mother's laughing
Zartman.
hysterically out there for whatever reason. She
must be
very
watching
loud.
Grey's Anatomy.
I don't know. She's really into it right now. Spencer's here. Newman being nice on the track. Wow. And it was kind of a wow, honestly. I was a bit surprised. You don't usually expect to see that from him. But I will give Newman credit, which I don't do very often. Wesley, that looks interesting. That's distracting.
Oh, the lights. Yeah.
My mother is still laughing. I mean, this is ridiculous. She has to have some sort of courtesy to the guy in the next room doing a podcast right now.
Take a broom and bang it on the wall.
Yeah, right. Tegan, first of all, give me your thoughts on the race, and then, of course, we'll talk about. Well, you can talk about Kevin Harvick, his last race, your guy. Pretty emotional, honestly. Hearing his kids come over the radio before the race, I thought was a really, really cool thing. Made me kind of like tear up watching the race. And then after the race, Keelan being the first one to the car and seeing how emotional he was, because that's never, you've seen him be emotional, but in an angry way.
Yeah.
Not really.
I've seen him emotional the other way around as well, but once or twice in his career. So,
but it's few and far between from him.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see that, but just give me your thoughts on the race, Blaney being the champion, and then go into it being Harvick's last race.
So the race was pretty good. The car still needs work on short tracks. Yep. It's there. Sure. There's fall off. I love Phoenix. They quit putting PJ1 on there because now the high line matters again, and they're like really super high now, like almost fucking right on the cushion with this car. Yeah. So the less PJ1 is better.
Definitely.
This car still needs a lot of work in the aero department. I think the aero has took a step backwards, either apparently just on short tracks or on. It seems like it's on tracks that don't have the banking, which is your banking tracks are your mile and a halves or bigger. Yep. So this car definitely needs work. The Ryan Blaney thing. I mean, I picked him, so I had to pick him for a reason. He had the momentum. So, I mean, we all kind of group chat to each other, said, let's pick whatever Mike is not picking. And no, that's not the reason. I picked Blaney. I thought Blaney was going to be my driver when Harvick did retire, but I still don't know. So it's well deserved for Blaney. I know he's getting a lot of shit, or this format getting a lot of shit. I don't know if it's so much Blaney as much as the format.
I think a little bit of both, honestly.
Maybe. I mean, did Blaney light it up all season? No. Does it matter if you do or not? Not really.
Did anybody really light it up all season, though, other than William Byron?
Byron did just to start with, and I think he kind of had sparks during the rest of the season.
He stayed solid all year.
He just stayed solid after he got his win. It's a Byron kind of thing. He gets his wins early, and then he kind of settles in for the long haul. And he had a good long haul, too. So, I mean, it's well deserving for Blaney. I can't shit him. I know we had discussions earlier. Discussion I really don't care about getting into again.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate because that's good content for the pod.
It was a good. We did have a good.
We should have recorded it.
Recorded it. Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with the format. It's not going to change. So this is what we're with. It provides the drama. I think we had drama all weekend. So I mean, from the truck race, the Xfinity race, but on a really good show, especially on the last restart, 4 wide for the fucking championship, 4 on the last.
Yeah.
What
do you say about
couldn't
the truck
fucking
race?
script it better.
Truck race was fantastic.
It had drama.
It was good.
I said it had drama. I didn't say it was good.
Possibly the best race of the season, according to Michael Walker.
Walker just. That didn't ever stays high or drunk on some of that.
They say don't get high off your own supply. He must be drinking some of that, alcohol he's brewing up for that Michael Walter Brewing.
And those Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So The Harvick thing, I mean, since 2014, I kind of knew it was coming. You've got to know it's coming. I mean, in 2014, he was in it 13 years. From a guy that said years ago that he didn't see himself racing in Cup past 40, here he is almost pushing 50, and he finally decides to give it up to, quite honestly, he could probably race another 3 years and been competitive.
Yeah,
I mean, competitive he's going to get with this car. I don't think he likes the car. I don't think Ronnie likes it either. And I think it shows. And, I mean, it sucks. I don't know who I'm going to root for next year. I don't know if I'm even going to watch Cup racing next year, to be honest. If I do watch it, I have nothing to root for. I may be the boomer that literally turns it on and just goes, I don't have nobody to root for. I'm not rooting for Chase. Unbiased.
Yeah, you can be like our unbiased podcast panelist next year.
I know, just rant against NASCAR every week because we know this
rant
ain't
against
fixed.
Hate everybody. Just shit on every driver. Yeah.
Everybody but Ryan Newman, Ross Chastain. We have to retitle my segment next year to something clever. I'm sure Mike will come up with something. So, it's nice seeing Harvick get emotional at the end. I think he literally went all season without letting the emotion get to him. They said he cried the night before during a team dinner. And I think everything just kind of finally, they didn't know what to do, which is like anytime anybody cries, you're like, what do I do? So it's nice to see that he realizes the moment. And I think it was because you had Keelan there, you had Piper, Delana, and I think that woman was his mother. I think his mother was there. It's either his mother or her mother. I don't know which.
I had no idea who that was. I've never seen his family before.
I ain't seen his side. I have seen hers. Her mom and her dad used to be on that reality show that they had years ago. So I think she does look familiar. So I think it might be her mom, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think getting out of the car and seeing your family there, like they're the first ones there. You can't. You damn right I am. Who's Crappy Cat? Oh, it's Kevron. Damn right I'm cheering on Raleigh. This dude loves fish. But I mean, I kind of got emotional during the whole weekend. I kind of let go of the fact that after especially Friday practice and qualifying, that I knew he had a good car, but I knew probably it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to be a walk-off, end of the career moment. It'd been nice, but I kind of kept my emotions in check all weekend till, of course, Sunday. With the pre-race stuff and the radio thing with his kids, because I don't think he's seen that coming. So
no, I think he had no idea that was going to happen.
No. And then you see him get emotional in an interview with Jenna Pryor, or not Jenna Pryor, but I can't remember her name. Damn it.
The NBC.
Starts with a J. No, she's not even affiliated with the TV,
Jesus,
but,
oh my God.
What?
Jesus Christ himself?
No. Hey, he's that worthy. No, I better not say that. It's a Beatle moment.
Yeah,
like
right.
Paul McCartney.
That's your
Everybody starts hating me. Yeah. So, I mean, I like it. It sucks that it happened, but I'm glad he went out still competitive. He went out there and led laps. A couple adjustments and track position, probably could have won it like anybody else that would have had track position. So I am very happy with how his career has come to an end, racing wise, and I look forward to maybe I just watch to hear him in the booth next year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
To compare it to something, the Jeff Gordon retirement, it's so weird because my NASCAR fandom leading to that point had been Jeff Gordon, and
same here with Kevin Harvick.
Never saw a race without him. So, it's quite odd at first, and it took me a while to get used to.
It makes you think of what are you going to do? Who are you going to root for? Yeah. And especially it comes at a bad time with this car really ain't all that great, and it doesn't give you a lot of enthusiasm. So, if this car was awesome, it'd be a 180. It'd be a completely different story for me next year. I probably still wouldn't find somebody, but I'd be kind of excited to still be watching because Harvick is the one that got me into this sport. I didn't even know what a NASCAR was literally until my brothers came back from the 2001 Atlanta race. And I'm like, they're, hooting and hollering shit. They're fucking happy, excited. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? I'm 12, 13 years old. So literally the Harvick win in Atlanta is what got me in this sport. I chose Harvick for that fact only. So literally I had been a Harvick fan from day one. Nobody else, you know, a couple of his teammates, a couple of them could kiss my ass from the get-go, and they didn't last long. So Jeff Green was one of them, that Nesquik son of a bitch. So
Fucking
it just
slow,
feels
what?
Yeah, it just feels weird that I'm going to be watching next year. I'm going to be hearing his voice, but it ain't going to be coming through the radio telling his pit crew are a bunch of wankers. So I hope he still calls them a bunch of wankers when they fuck up on Josh Berry just for some. Yes, that's my Kevin.
Yeah. So talk to me through why you're not in on Barry next year. Are you going to give him a chance at all? Or?
I just don't like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to root against Sturhaus. Barry go out there one day on a 500, and I'd be happy. But that's not my guy. I could care less if Josh Berry got in that car or not this year. They could have literally said, "We're signing anybody but Josh Berry," and I've been like, "That's okay with me." I mean, if it happens, it happens. I don't think it will. I'm about 90% sure I could care fucking less about Josh Berry. Nothing against Josh Berry. He just, if I would have liked him, I would have already had been following him. So I don't have nobody that I care about watching next year. There's a few drivers, the older drivers like Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, that I wouldn't mind having. I mean, Kyle Busch has had enough. He needs to quit. I want to see Denny Hamlin win a championship just so that he can get it and get it over with. I would have been happy with that this year. I'll be happy with it next year because he don't have very many years left.
He's got about 2 or 3, I think, chances.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to be watching Xfinity more next year. To be honest, they got the best product, the best car. So NASCAR decides to fucking ruin it, and it's coming because that's how they fucking operate.
So they make it,
and I'm going to be rooting for Riley Herbst next year. And some. Maybe Cole Custer. I could care less about Cole Custer.
They'll be out there racing Tahoes, Ford Explorers, and fucking.
I'm telling you what, if they do that, I'm probably. You're not going to see me on here because I ain't going. I'm going to be like Ryan. I ain't watching no damn Cup race. I ain't watching a fucking thing. If we start a fucking SVU or SUV or whatever
special
series
victims unit.
Yeah, special victims unit. It might as well be because we're all going to be victims if we have to watch fucking Tahoes and Blazers run around that damn racetrack. So we're all going to be victims.
Got a few comments to go through here. We'll start with this one because I really like this question from Kevron. Harvick versus Rudd was where I started my love for Happy Harvick. If there's enough time, what's y'all's favorite Kevin Harvick moment? Tegan said Harvick winning in Atlanta against Gordon. That's not mine.
I mean, that's what got me in the sport. I wouldn't say that.
I think me and Mike are going to have the same one.
I kind of thought the 2007 500. It kind of ranks up there. Because I was watching that race with some brothers, so
that's my favorite race of all time. Not my favorite Harvick moment. My favorite Harvick moment is him shoving.
Yes,
Brad Keselowski so my boy Jeff Gordon could beat that motherfucker's ass. That's what I like.
I think anytime that Harvick got snarky with a reporter, because he's very Tony Stewart level. But him and Tony could probably tag team some reporters.
Yeah. For sure.
And can't forget the year that he literally, there's no video proof. There's a picture out there where Carl Edwards thought he was going to go up there and whoop somebody's ass, and Harvick literally picked him up and threw him on the fucking hood of the car. So there's that moment. There's Harvick against Hamlin, on the racetrack, beating bumpers because he said something against his team. There's Harvick and Biffle. They had a couple of run-ins. So, yeah, I mean, you can't beat the Brad thing.
A lot of people like that, and I'm happy about it.
Because you were sitting there thinking that you're not, we missed the fight, and then Harvick's like, no, bitch.
I know you
get up in there.
You got hell to pay, Brad. That playoff was so much fun seeing Brad get retribution from everybody in the field. An underrated
almost
part
every
of that
week.
An underrated part of that is the Charlotte race, wherever he's going at it with Hamlin on the track, and he's going at it with Kenseth on pit road, and he hits Stewart.
And he gets somebody else.
And Stewart's like, no, dude, fucking hegs it in reverse and backs right the fuck up into him. I thought that was awesome. Sally, your favorite Harvick moment?
I agree with you. That one. Another one, just to, I guess, kind of be
different. Anytime, how many wins did he have in Atlanta? I know he won the one with Gordon.
3.
He won.
Yeah.
Anytime he'd win at Atlanta, you'd feel like, you always knew that track meant something special to him. I loved like the victory laps. He'd always go back to the way he did his first. Didn't even do a burnout, just a victory lap with the 3 fingers out, saluting Dell and all that. I always thought that was pretty cool. Anytime he won there, you knew it was special, no matter the year, no matter the car number. That was always cool.
Definitely. And also just, and Harris was going to mention, like, part of what I was going to mention, that finish was awesome there. Just seeing him have that level of dominance at a track, specifically Phoenix. I mean, how many consecutive top 10s was it? 25 or something? 21. I mean,
and you got to remember last year when they got done with Homestead, I think he finished that one with a consecutive at that track too, which is more than anybody else at that track. So he's got 2 tracks. Literally this year kind of ruined his top 10 streak at Homestead. So he's got 2 tracks that he had that streak going at.
Yeah, I mean, just his run at Phoenix there from like late 2012 to
2013,
2018-ish was just really, really impressive there. A lot of great Harvick moments. Of course, the 2007 Daytona 500 you got to talk about, because that's one of the best races I can recall. I mean, I feel like that's a time with the super speedway package where the car was really perfect in the driver's hands, and it gave you that pack racing excitement, but it also added the element of drivers being able to control their own destiny. Harvick,
you could come from the back to the front.
Harvick getting that push from Matt
Can't do that now.
on the last lap. Coming up side by side with Mark Martin, you have the big wreck behind, Boyer on his lid. They're side by side.
Boyer's on fire.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon's wrecked. Just that to me, that was the first race I ever watched, and I mean, I'm here doing a NASCAR podcast now because of that race. So because of how awesome that was. Harvick versus Juan at the Glen. Jeff Burton had to hold him back. Jeff Burton was like, "Get off of it! Stop!"
Got Andy Petrie going, well, to be fair, he went up to Juan Pablo. You cocksucker. You always was. You always did know how to run your fucking cocksucker. You cocksucker. Never did know when to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we're really burying Andy Petrie lately.
And RCR and Austin Hill, so
I think we'll talk. Can we talk about them later? This is going to be a long episode, I think, but we'll get to them at some point. We have to.
22 minutes in, and we haven't talked about the NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Yeah, we have.
We started off that way.
We haven't.
You're too busy doing this.
NASCAR Cup Series
we did like the first
race winner.
Oh,
we don't care. About the race
We've
winner.
done something that nobody else has ever done, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Dave.
Hey, Dave. Watch what I can do, Dave.
Look,
Dave.
Hey, Dave. Ron Blaney won the championship. Ron Blaney won the championship.
Dave. I won the race. Dave.
Technically, the race was called. It was not sponsored by anything.
Yeah, the NASCAR.
The race was called the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Yeah. So technically, Ross Chastain won the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race.
I bet NASCAR doesn't do that again next year. I bet they don't.
No.
Yeah, we fucked up.
They
picked a bad year to name a race that.
Wasn't like
years where there has not been like a winner that wasn't in the championship.
In the Final Four.
Yeah.
He's done something that nobody else has ever done, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
So they decided, well, fuck it. If they're going to keep winning this race, then we'll just make it, it's the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. And then, of course, Ross Chastain fucking ruins it like he does everything.
Dave.
That motherfucker fucks up a wet dream.
I was just about to say, I bet he gets soft during sex.
We know who else does.
You know what I bet makes him hard? Fucking watermelons.
Sal's got erectile dysfunction.
He probably fucks them. That's what you need, Sal. Get you a good old watermelon.
We've had this discussion here before.
Not this again.
And it was started with Ross. It started with Ross Chastain. Fucking watermelon. And then I thought, let's all fuck watermelons.
You had a great line when we were hanging out the other night about Mr. Chastain, about his eyes.
I forgot what it was. Did you not save it?
I did. I think I sent it to you today. It was something like I'll see if I can play it right now. I think you said
I
something.
know
to the
Sal was
lines of,
screaming.
guys with eyes like that, you can't really trust.
You can't look them in both eyes. You can't trust them.
Yeah. Here's the clip. I hope you guys can hear it good. I'm playing it through my phone.
Out whether he can save a kid
Lazy
from a
eye,
burning building,
bitch.
and I'm like, yeah, good for you, but I'm still going to punch you in the face.
That lazy
He's
eye,
got one of those
bitch.
faces. Exactly. Like, you don't know which way he's looking. He's can't trust a guy like that one. The only one eye looks you in the eye. You can't trust a guy like that.
I kind of agree. I thought he came across as just such a dickhead in that post race
He
interview,
did.
as we've mocked
His facial
the
expression. He needs to get with.
He was
He
like,
needs to call Jimmy Johnson and
Dave.
get with somebody that can fix his expression, because his expression makes him look even more like a dick. It's just not his words; it's his expression. He's got these. It's his eyes. It's his fucking. But it's not just his eyes. It's his fucking
we
mouth.
don't need that.
So it's like he's.
We don't need that.
It's
Agreed.
I don't know. It's his whole damn fucking facial face, eyeballs. It's his fucking Dumbo ears. It's everything.
Yeah, I mean, for him, he smashed his watermelon over in the corner where nobody was looking. He actually did do the watermelon, but nobody cared.
He did have the start finish line too, didn't he?
No, he did it like in the middle
It
of
was
3
in
and
like turn
4.
3 and 4. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it was like right at kind of the restart zone.
He's
Also,
done some on the front stretch. No,
you know
before
what?
Blaney
That's
got there.
something that we also need to talk about whenever we talk about this
That.
horrendous truck series race. Was the restart zone?
yeah. Well,
From just that race.
How do you
There.
fuck that up?
there's so much to talk about from that.
God damn.
Well, to be fair, I think they knew, and they decided it was not.
No, they
quick
knew.
enough to
They said that they had
repaint it.
talked to the truck series teams and they had all
And they were
agreed that it
fine.
was
I don't know
But
how we
still,
got to that
They
point.
were off
though.
by
No.
like
Yeah,
50
by a lot.
They were off
Yes.
by a lot.
sure.
Like it was not
Yeah.
close at all.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the Cup Series and Xfinity race. This big black mark that's just like right next
I
to the
can't
start finish
believe
line
he's
for some
saying
reason.
this.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a full circle. It's like Tegan starting.
You're
to, like,
fired. I'm not. You're a team owner, but you're fired. I don't know what from.
You're
but
banned
you're
from
fucking
being
fired.
a team owner. Yeah.
You're perma banned. Hang on, I gotta get Discord open. Just wait. Just give me 2 seconds.
Put him in timeout.
Yeah, we'll put that as a timeout.
I gotta put
With
Quinn in
Spencer.
there every once in a while. Spire and timeout. They just call it the Spire box next year, the timeout section.
Penalty box, fire box.
Yeah, the Spire box. Sal, didn't really get your thoughts on the race and Blaney winning the championship. Anything you got to say about it?
In race, like you said, it was quite possibly the best championship race we've had at Phoenix so far. Hopefully next year, this car, especially on short tracks, you could see them take some steps in the right direction. I doubt it, but
We're gonna find out in Phoenix next year, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
know
our first
they're
real judge, right?
testing today,
They're
weren't they?
testing transaxle, new transaxle.
Are they testing
Yeah.
them today? I heard December on the teardown.
I don't know. Yeah, I think
That
December.
might be December.
I would have done it.
But yeah, see what they can figure out
Yeah.
for this.
I mean, it's tough to
Um,
do this week because, like, what drivers are you going to get to do it?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give 'em
As
a month or
far as
something. But
Blaney,
I don't
I
get why
mean-
they do it in Phoenix. But anyway, go ahead, Sal.
As far as Blaney, I mean, we talked about it a little last week. He was since Elliott in 2020. I feel like he's been the way he drove Martinsville and the way he won. I was getting huge 2020 vibes from Elliott, and you kind of felt, even with them having a like bad qualifying, you kind of felt like he's gonna he's gonna be he's gonna be up there.
Hey,
But yeah,
Sal,
cool to see.
Any fucking way to get William fucking Chase's name in the fucking pod.
William
Where our
Klein,
boy
William
William
Klein.
Chase did it first.
Bro, Chase
Did
Elliott
y'all
fans
see,
did
did y'all
not
see
go-
Chase Elliott up there? He was celebrating
Yeah,
too.
they're both going.
Bradley did
Are we
call it back
not
in
surprised?
January. That is right. But I agree with
Only
you
because
completely on
WB
that,
did.
Sal. As I've said a few times, I don't know if I said it on the pod last week, you only see drivers drive like this in certain moments of their career. and you only see it so many times from certain guys. And I think your comparison's a good one. I think Tony Stewart in 2011 is kind of another good one, where you just see guys driving so motivated. What's that?
You're missing one.
Harvick in 2014. I mentioned it.
Exactly.
I mentioned it last week, I think.
Kyle Busch in 2015
for the whole season.
Yeah, for the half of the season.
The half of the season he was there.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that it's just really cool to see a driver drive like that, because you saw him make, like, I had never seen Ryan Blaney like make the moves he was making over the last couple of weeks. It just seemed like he was driving with a different hunger, a different passion. And I think guys only have that in their tank so many times. Like, you just get a certain vibe and you just unlock a different version of yourself. And I think we saw that with Ryan Blaney across, I think, the last 3 races of the year. Miami, he was driving really well.
He averaged a 4th place
good
finish.
Car kind of helps.
Races.
Definitely. No, I totally agree with you. You have to have a great car to be able to do it. But you saw Ryan Blaney, because Ryan Blaney's had great cars in his career, right? But a lot of the times he hasn't been able to come away with it.
He's had great cars. I'm telling you what, I think he's had the greatest cars here the last few weeks. So it's a Penske 4 thing. They sandbag all year, and they save their best shit till the last when NASCAR don't catch it. So
one thing I do hate, and this is just in general, like I've hated this ever since this playoff format was introduced, how people will do whatever it takes to discredit whoever ends up winning it. I mean, I feel we saw it last year with Logano. We saw it in 2020 with Chase. 21, right person won it.
Definitely.
But you can't keep comparing this to, back in the Winston days, we haven't.
Guess
So
what?
it's
That
the
was
people
like,
that
that was
complain
like
about our
fucking
they weren't
30
even
years
alive
ago.
during that
Nobody
time.
gives a fuck
Yeah.
anymore.
We have
I
nothing
am
good
probably
with
the
it.
only one in this group that remembers that fucking format. And I literally was only watching the sport for 3 years before they changed it. So
I was
like,
one.
most of the people that bitch about it don't even know what the system is.
Yeah.
They don't realize the reason why we got rid of it was fucking Matt Kenseth's goofy ass. And there was more before him that locked it up, but I think Dale Earnhardt locked it up 1 year.
But it's also funny though, because like, he didn't get a lot of wins this year. Blah blah blah. Okay, let's go back to your fucking.
It's only
format.
it's only
Matt
half
Kenseth
of
is the one that
Byron's.
fucking killed it because he only won one goddamn race.
Exactly, and it's only half of Byron's. 36 races. That's not a bad total.
Yeah.
To go with the
you gotta
championship.
think, what do you have? He had like 18 top 10s. That's a solid number these days in the Cup Series.
Just 3 behind.
wins.
I think Byron had 21.
Yeah. And I'm not going to argue that was William Byron the best driver overall across this season? Yes. But
was he the best in the last 4 or 5?
No. He's not the champion, and that's not where we're at anymore. I mean, I just find it ridiculous that it's even a conversation for people anymore.
Yeah.
He let it Phoenix. He didn't keep it.
If you don't like it, just don't watch. I mean, we have been in this format. We've been in a playoff era for 20 years. We've been in an elimination format with 4 guys in the Final Four for 10 years now. We are not going back. I mean, and every guy, you can't play in the same sandbox and complain about the texture of the sand. Everybody is in the sandbox, all right? And it doesn't matter.
It's not like, Ryan Blaney was playing with some different sand.
Harvick would have had 4.
Yeah. Harvick and Jeff Gordon were the 2 that were really hurt the most.
Really hurt. And Johnson really benefited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know I give Larson a lot of shit on this show. But I see a lot of things on the internet of, oh my goodness, Blaney doesn't deserve it. Weakest champion ever. Blah, 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 blah. First of all, if your driver won it, you wouldn't be complaining. That's number one. Second of all, I think a lot of these guys that are saying, man, it's tough for me to wrap my mind around Ryan Blaney after the performance he had from basically Charlotte to the playoffs. I can't wrap my head around that guy being the champion. Well, let's think about it. If Kyle Larson won the championship, I don't think we'd be hearing anybody talk about him being a non-legitimate champion.
He only finished, if you go back to your Winston points, he only finished 1 place ahead of.
They were 6th and 7th. Kyle Larson had 8 DNFs this year. This format gave Kyle Larson a chance at the championship. in that Winston Cup format, you are not gonna win the championship with 8 DNFs. You're gonna have to win. If you have 8 DNFs, you're gonna have to win 28.
Not today. No, not in this. The way the cars, like back in the day when these motors used to blow up almost every fucking week.
Yeah,
maybe, but no, not now. But they're so reliable and shit. So
8 is quite high for DNFs. I think he was top 3 in the series, only behind probably the
Austin
Dillon
had
brothers.
Parks.
The Dillon brothers were
That
I think
don't
1
surprise
and 2. Yeah, not at all.
They're the real champions.
Only time they're going to be 1 and 2 anything.
And to be honest, I don't agree with that either at all.
I think they had very similar seasons. They
I
both
think
won
Logano's
kind
season
of
was
in the first.
arguably
I think Logano
better.
came on late last year as well.
I think Logano had a better season though. I mean, he had 4 wins. He won the Clash, and I think he would have been top like 4 in season long points if you looked at it that way. So I don't really like that argument of Logano not being deserving. I think that any guy that wins Kyle Busch as 2015, that's all it needs to be said. That one is a tough one to grasp, but he had the same opportunity everybody else did. They granted him a waiver. He got hurt in the car. He came back.
Made the points
won
up.
Races. Yeah,
he had finished where he needed to get the points to be top 30, which now you don't even have to be, which I think is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But
honestly, I think it needs to be tightened more.
I don't think it's that stupid just because there's really only 32, 33 full-time guys anymore. So if you win,
well, it's like Wessel, maybe it needs to go
25. I would not be.
I would say
that,
25.
No.
25, 24, kind of around there.
I'll always hate.
I don't know how this guy didn't have any DNF. He seemed like he wrecked every week, but
I always hate the whole deserving, undeserving champion debate at the end of every season, because every champion is deserving. You played the format to your hands. You showed up when the other 3 or other 15, depending where you were seated, didn't. You capitalized on others' mistakes to advance every round, and you got awarded by being the champion. I do agree, maybe
about undeserving champions. Let me tell you what.
What is your problem?
2017 Astros.
Oh, I thought you were shitting on Chase Elliott again.
No.
But yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
I thought you were shitting on Mike. I was about to be here for that.
I thought he was shitting on Suarez for his Xfinity. There's so many different ways this could have gone.
Yeah, I think we all interpreted it a different way.
Is it the best format for a motorsports championship? Probably not. Is it something that could use tweaks? I think so. I
got a
would be a
question.
fan of seeing.
I asked this because I don't watch F1. How many drivers are eligible for championship by the time they get to the last few races? 1 or 2, just 2 or 3 probably at most, if that.
I'm going to give you a little stat about F1 right now. Okay, so they have a constructors championship, right? Which means there's 10 teams. There's 10 teams. They each have 2 cars, right?
It's basically a team championship.
Yep, and they add up the points for each driver, right? This week, with 2 races left, Max Verstappen on his own would have clinched the constructors championship. And I think
that's the state of F1 right now.
I think he had his championship.
I don't think that's going to change either.
No, well, honestly, I don't think that'll change. I think that.
But people bitch about F1 because you know who's going to win, or you know it's only going to be 1 or 2 cars going for the win at the end. I feel like F1 had its surge up in the United States, but I think people realize
Sergio doesn't get the podiums. So.
But now it's starting to decline because I think people realize it's not all that it's cracked up to be. It's the same shit every damn week. It's 1 or 2 guys going for the win, and everybody else is just dog shit.
One guy going for the win. Max Verstappen has won like 30 out of the last 35 races.
See, I feel like you, Mike, was giving F1 all this hype here last year or the year before. How can you stand watching that? If it's somebody winning 30 out of 35, I can even watch a race.
No, I think there's a lot more to it. The races, I will say.
A lot of F1, I will say, are the commentators. They
make it exciting.
Best commentators.
And maybe the drama, because I think it's kind of over officiated.
It can, I mean,
yeah,
2021. 2021 was.
And didn't they have a road
lot
course this year where a lot of people were out of bounds and they were just barely touching
Yeah.
the curb?
5 second
Which
penalty
you can
for
get away
overall.
with in NASCAR.
Yeah, you can go all the
Yeah.
way over. Yeah.
Which honestly, I
it's
wish
super-
NASCAR would adapt some of those rules for some of these road
I
courses.
Some
just
of the
wish they
road courses
wouldn't-
you can't do.
Like Watkins Glen, particularly.
That's
since they
one.
took
I
the
know which
grass
corner
away.
you're talking about. I don't know.
Turn
Coming out of
one.
You can do that.
Turn 1, fix that.
Turn 1 also.
Put-
Turn 1
put
and the
gravel
carousel.
or
Like,
grass over there again. I mean, yeah, but I think F1. I will, admit, Tegan. I think the Max Verstappen dominance era has definitely hurt the U.S. surge, because the U.S. surge kind of happened in 2021 because a lot of people watched the Drive to Survive series over the
which,
pandemic.
you know what? We have this NASCAR playoff series
That we're
that's
gonna see on
coming to
Netflix,
Netflix.
yeah.
That'll be pretty. I mean, probably give it a couple months and
Yeah.
it'll probably be out.
But the thing with that
Out of
is
the
a lot of people watched it over the pandemic, and then you had a really tight championship battle in 2021 between Hamilton and Verstappen. But since then, it's literally just been Verstappen winning. So that's the tough part about that. So we're 40 minutes in. We haven't talked about the other 2 championships yet. We've had a lot. I mean, it is
It's gonna be a long.
it is good
episode.
that we're talking about it.
Truck Series race could be a whole nother pod. Honestly,
Yeah, we'll.
I
that
really
might
don't want
be
to spend a lot of time on the truck series, to be honest.
Yeah, it was rough. Xfinity race I thought was really good. To me, it was kind of odd because I saw Justin Allgaier as the veteran of the 4 being there so many times. I thought he was kind of over
He
aggressive.
was acting like the rookie.
Yeah, I thought he
Yeah.
was making a lot of mistakes. Just didn't really think he raced that smart. Spinning on lap 6 or whatever it was.
3.
Right.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, pretty early.
So yeah, I thought he didn't live up to like the veteran title that he should have, and staying poised, because I think
You
he's
can't see over the steering
desperate.
wheel.
Well,
I
now
think
to be
he's
fair, at
desperate.
the end, if Cole Custer didn't get that run, he's got it. To be
Yeah,
fair,
no, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
so
Yeah, and he came up very close. I just think he got to the point where he was desperate and was.
well, I think
Like-
it's because he knew he didn't have the car at the beginning.
Yeah,
I think it was really the whole race. It was a Cole Custer and John Hunter
I
race.
thought he had a pretty good car though, honestly.
He had one of the best behind
Yeah.
Custer. Maybe Nemechek after the runs got long.
Yeah, Custer had a great car. Happy to see him kind of start his like redemption arc potentially. I don't know if we'll see him in Cup again. I know they were talking on the broadcast.
I don't know about Stuart
him-
Haas. They're kind of full with young drivers now. So
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see other teams going out and saying, "Man, we need to get Cole Custer in our car full time." I don't really see that. But I think that would be a good thing for him if he could find a way to have a ride that's not SHR. I feel like it would kind of get him out of this. Yeah, I don't think.
But I
that'll
mean,
happen.
let's see it this way though too. Would you rather be in a championship contending Xfinity car or a mid
for a
pack
starting park,
or
exactly.
There's no
back of the
starting
field
part.
car.
Rick Ware.
They're making gains. I mean, you look at a team like Spire; they're on the ups. People are investing in the sport. I don't know where he would end up, but I think this is a big moment for Cole Custer. I wouldn't be surprised if he lights the series on fire next year and wins a lot of races, because it seems like SHR's hit on
But
something.
we pretty much know
late in
AJ's
this
coming
year.
back, so
AJ will be back
maybe
in
it's them
Xfinity.
too.
I don't think the Toyota drivers will be exceptionally strong. I don't really see Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed giving you a Jonathan Nemechek level season.
Chandler Smith,
Um,
yes.
I don't really see that from him. I don't really think he's that guy.
Chandler,
Yeah,
I think
I
he
don't
can
he's
be.
gonna-
I just don't
I
know
think he's
about
gonna
the
give you
Toyota
7
deal.
wins.
He'll be in the
he's gonna give you
19,
7.
by the way.
19?
Well, I mean, it's Joe Gibbs' car. I think Joe Gibbs' car are pretty damn strong. I don't care who you put in unless you
Who's in
make
the
Joe
18?
Graff. So
All right, Creed.
The 20 then is that?
the All-Star
Is that
car
like the
maybe
All-Star?
for them.
Could be. Only reason I say that is he posted a photo today. He had Chinese for lunch, in case anyone's wondering.
He had what for lunch?
Chinese food.
That's good.
He said, "I got my lucky number today, and it's a fortune cookie paper, and it had like 417 something else, and then 19 on there. So I'll be on the 19 in the 19.
Yeah. Now, I don't agree with this. My pick for the Xfinity Championship next year is a little bit out of the box, though. I'm
I
actually
think Parker had his best year this year, and that's all he's going to get.
I'm actually going to pick Sammy Smith. I think. Okay, you're doing the Sammy Smith bobblehead. That's just not nice to Sammy. I actually think that like he has the most potential for a breakout season. To me, I think Junior Motorsports is a good fit for him. Phoenix is a good track for him. If he can make it there, I think he could be in good shape. Hey, JC Live, his PlayStation is up and running. Hall of Famer's cooking. He pulled it out of that storage unit wherever it was, dusted it off, and he's back going. Shout out to JC. Excited to have him back next year. But back to the Xfinity race a little bit. That shot on the final overtime restart of the final four being four
Great
wide.
camera work, by the way.
That was just one of the cooler moments you'll see. And that's why this format, to me, I really enjoy. Because a four wide restart isn't as cool if it's not four guys literally fighting each other for a championship. You know?
On an overtime restart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And especially with what transpired in the overtimes the night before, that was a real good showing of respect, clean racing, and sportsmanship, which wasn't a good word to use in the prayer before the race, before the truck race.
I told you it was going to go bad the moment he said that.
Yeah. But yeah, ultimately comes away Cole Custer. Stone Cold. Couple beers. Nice.
Looks like he about gave it away.
Yeah. But yeah, glad to see Cole Custer win it. Won the race. Only champion this year to win the race. You don't see that too often. That there's only one of the three to win the championship that also wins.
I feel like
the
it
race.
happens in the truck series almost every year.
Yeah, that's the one where it's kind of common.
Yeah.
Any thoughts from you guys in the Xfinity race?
Loved it.
Yeah,
Good race.
it's great.
It was a good.
It's a
race.
great car.
It was good.
Good finish.
Yeah. The truck race.
I'm not. Everybody else called it a shit show. I was entertained.
Corey Haim's a bitch.
I will say I was only entertained because the four of us were in a PlayStation party together, synced up watching this.
5 of us. It was Ryan too. He wasn't really watching,
He wasn't watching it.
Yeah,
but he was in
wasn't
there
watching.
repeating.
Yeah.
So
Also, shout out to
literally-
Ryan for refusing to watch the Cup Championship to see the Cowboys lose.
Yeah, what a bum.
He's such
That's
a-
why he's not on. He wanted to be on the podcast this week. I said no. If you're not going to watch the Cup Championship, you're not going to be on the pod this week. Absolutely not, Ryan. So yeah, let's go through it. Corey Haim clearly had the best car.
Truck.
Sorry. I always do that.
Trucking.
Stage 2.
Trucking.
We'll get there eventually. Stage 2, we had a bit of split strategy. Carson Hocevar pits earlier than the rest of the Champ 4 do to get the track position for the start of Stage 3. No, you didn't. Cap.
tactic.
So Hocevar had the track position in Stage 3. Haim went through the field. Haim gets by Hocevar. Hocevar, in like seemed like desperation, gets into him, coming to the line. And then in 1 and 2, I was going to say 3 and 4 because I still.
It needs to go
Weird.
back that way, to be honest. Which is another reason why I think shit happened in this race.
Yeah, Hocevar sends it in a little too hard. I think it's a mistake. I don't think it was anything intentional. He washes up and takes Corey Haim out into the wall. Haim's car is good enough to continue.
A little bit of damage.
Yeah, a little bit of damage to the right rear, which is really, really detrimental to
Important.
the aero of these trucks. He moved his way back up to around 5th or 6th. The championship
Sixth.
contenders were 3rd and 4th.
Got to racing his own teammate, Jesse Love, by the way, who's going to be the
Great
best teammate ever.
Great teammate to Austin Hill next year.
Yeah.
And Grant Enfinger, who I picked last week, and who I think, Sal was rooting for. He wasn't. He started off saying like, "You're an idiot. Why do you like Grant Enfinger?" But we, by the end of that race, were all in on Grant Enfinger.
Not really. Just keep
Sal was. Sal and I are Grant Enfinger guys now.
I think I have a new favorite truck driver for next year.
Is he?
The dude literally sounds like he crawled out of a gator's ass.
I love it though. He's
He
awesome.
fingered that gator's ass is what he did.
Okay. But anyway, Enfinger had really the championship locked up with about 3 to go. And then Heim backs up to Hocevar, puts him in the wall, and then starts the shit show of like the.
Because Hocevar had fresh tires.
Yeah, but he wasn't gonna get to
He wasn't going to get to Enfinger and Rhodes, yeah.
No, not
I think Heim was going to be where he stopped.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think Heim was going to stop him, and he did.
Part broke. Part broke.
You know, I actually think
it was Arrow.
There should be some sort of penalty for Heim, right? I mean, he waited on a guy and then intentionally wrecked him.
But he didn't make it so obvious, though.
That's pretty fucking
I think he
obvious.
did. If you look,
goddamn obvious.
I didn't say anything because I was like, "There's no way." Like maybe the damage is affecting Heim this bad. He dropped from because Hocevar didn't technically catch him. Hocevar, I think, had gotten up to like 9th or 8th.
Yeah.
And Heim was 6th. Then you see Heim get passed for 6th. You see him get passed for 7th. And then you hear them call the caution.
Yeah.
And that was a chicken shit move.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Brett Griffin.
But I mean, you can't. NASCAR doesn't care as long as you're not right hooking people into the wall at full speed. He didn't right hook them; we just ran them up the racetrack into the wall. So, I think for the conversation that's going to be had,
I think
since that truck race was such a shit show anyway, I think they're going to let that shit slide.
It wouldn't have been if he hadn't done that, though.
True, but yeah.
I don't think 2 wrongs make a right here. Like what Hocevar did was wrong, unintentional, but wrong. You can't really give him the benefit of the doubt because of his past of aggressive, dumb driving.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It wasn't right. Now, granted, Hocevar's truck was not fucked. Like, granted, it might not have been good enough to win or win the championship, but it wasn't dead. And for him to go out and kill not only his truck, but kill another championship contender's truck. It's just a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I really didn't like.
Change the outcome of the championship. I think it would have been in fingers.
And Grant Enfinger was robbed.
Yeah,
because then we have that crazy restart. Rhodes kind of shoves him up in Eckes, and Grant has damage and has to pit because he lost so much track position because of the contact. Has so many overtimes that he's able to get back up there and comes within about 1 corner away from being able to get that. Man, I was
a bunch of people shit on Carson and probably still did. Like I saw people on Twitter or whatever saying like
it's people like there's cup drivers shitting on him when they need to be. It didn't make themselves look good because it was all Toyota drivers.
That's
shit on Heim. They shit on Heim just as hard as they shit on Hocevar because that was a terrible.
A lot of it too, though, was people shitting on Carson, but I feel Carson showed a lot of maturity in the interview on his radio as soon as it happened. He did the interview. Did we get a TV interview?
Yeah.
Okay, and that I know he did one like right away after he was checked and released with Sirius XM. I think on that one he said that like he could have said everything and anything to Corey Heim, and he said instead he put the blame on himself, which didn't try to add fuel to the fire or anything against him. He was like, "Yeah, it's fair. I understand it. I messed up, whatever." And then Corey Heim just goes on his little, "Well, I'm the only one who knows what happened, so." The side force just ran me up the track.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to admit it if you did it on purpose. If you admit it, you are getting penalized.
Yeah.
Kenny's proven that. They're like, fuck yeah, I put him in the. Maybe Blaney will get penalized. Fucking yeah, right, I hit him.
Wednesday,
It was-
Ryan Blaney
yeah.
stripped from his championship.
Here's Kyle Larson. Oh my god, I'd shoot myself if that happened.
He would still
Um,
find a way to call him the greatest driver in the world.
Yeah,
He's the
Wow,
greatest
what a
driver in the
shit.
world that he finished second in the championship and won it. Let's fucking
Yeah.
go.
You wouldn't believe that.
Fucking believe that.
So yeah, shit
300
show.
start.
I really wish Grant Enfinger won, man. I think he's gonna win every race next year.
I don't think he'll make
I
the
hope
Final Four next year.
I hope he does. He
Kind of a
deserves
fluke
it.
year.
His revenge arc is going to go crazy next year.
Yeah, Kermit the Frog is gonna be hitting different next year. Maybe we can get him. Can we try to get him on the podcast?
I would be so down.
I won't
for
be
that.
here
Why not?
because I ain't watching you little fangirl bullshit.
Come on, dude. Be cool.
If you get him, Wessel needs to be able to get Matty D on here.
Oh, nice. All right, we can do that.
Nothing's gonna free up. He'll have time for a little podcast. Am I right?
Something's gotta open
I say
up, right?
maybe he can come in and take over Mike's job because he's looking for a job.
I'm not looking for a job. I'm happy where I'm at. Anything else in the truck race?
Restart zone. I think that
Restart
played a part
zone.
into this bullshit. And also, I think it's time for NASCAR to put the start finish line back where it fucking belongs. It has no business being where it's at. That's what causes your shit. NASCAR asked for this. It took years for it to happen. Eventually, it's going to happen in the other two series. It's getting a little bit more aggressive every year. They're going to keep this at fucking Phoenix. They need to put the start finish line back where it belongs on the
You're
fucking
not
front
going to see
stretch.
that though because of where the grandstands are.
They'd have to
Oh, they-
completely take them out and put them
And
back.
they already just did that. So
They invested so much money into that place; it's not changing anytime soon.
Well, hell, they've invested 4 times. And literally every 5 years they invest.
Bradley said exactly what I said. Yeah, I assume he said it or typed it before I said it, but yeah, I think that it's not going to happen. I wouldn't mind. I think Phoenix actually put on a good show. It was the best one by far for definitely Xfinity and Cup. I'd say 2021 was good for Xfinity also. But I think that maybe you should put money into Homestead. Pump that place up. It is a NASCAR track, so pump that place up. Give it the finale back. The racing's great with this car. It was great in every series. Championship belongs there, I think. But for what we got, I think if that wasn't the championship race, let's talk about the Cup race again. People would not have had a problem with it. So, I unfortunately I don't think we're going back to the old Phoenix. I wouldn't mind if they put grass back there.
Well, then if they're going to put grass, then why even have start finish line back there? The whole reason why they did it was so they can cross the fucking line on the apron.
Yeah.
So
maybe you'll have people feel ballsy
Unless they
and
make-
passing the grass.
unless
or
they
something.
make a fucking rule to where you can't go below the line, the line on the starts or in
That's
restarts.
not going
So
to happen though.
no.
Because NASCAR loves
be a
like,
shit
oh
show.
my God, 6 wide restarts. Ah!
Yeah.
They get really excited about that. So I don't think.
Hope one year
we'll
we
see
have that,
go
and I
down.
hope it takes out all 4 of the fucking championship drivers. And it comes down to who's on the
Bradley's
DVP.
killing all my points. I mean, you can put a little access road.
Make them access it back to the fucking turn 3.
Go to the infield. You like the NASCAR.
Atlanta's got a fucking pit road now around the whole damn racetrack. Why can't Phoenix?
True. Anyway, that's all for championship weekend. Final thoughts on the season. I thought the racing in the Cup Series was fine. You had the good mile and a half. The short tracks were slightly better, I think, this year. We made some gains on that.
Still not there. I still feel like we're taking a step backward in this car. I feel like the longer we're with this car and we don't figure it out, the racing is going to get worse. The dirty air.
I really think that the intermediates being as good as they have been have really helped out a lot. The mile and a halves have been awesome, Really, there's
Yeah,
only
well,
been one, I think, bad mile-and-a-half race, and I said it
NASCAR's
was
not
Vegas
investing in
earlier
mile and a
this year.
half. Remember, they're investing in freaking road courses and short tracks. Picked a fucking fine time to
Well,
do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had a car that was good on those and not good on mile-and-a-halves, and now they have a car that's good on mile-and-a-halves and not on road courses and short tracks. So, yeah, I wish I know this can't happen, but I wish there could be a way you could run like Gen 6 on short tracks and road courses, and next gen on intermediates, kind of like 2007 every year.
Well, I think it's just time to get aggressive with some changes for next year. If it comes down to
I
taking
think they're trying.
shifting away, they try
I think
harder.
shifting's a huge thing about it. And that's the biggest thing. I think
It's
that
such
would
a
save
clutch.
Martinsville. So yeah, I think that would be a good thing to fix. Take the championship back to Homestead. I don't think anybody can argue with you on that. I think everybody would be okay with that. Considering the option, since it most likely would have to be a NASCAR owned track, Homestead is probably your best option for that. Yeah, I thought it was a solid season. Tegan, we'll go with you, then Sal and Wessel about the season as a whole.
Like I said earlier, it was solid, but I feel like we got some work to do with this car as a whole. So, I mean, I can't say much. I feel like it just started. Like literally, I feel like
it flew by.
This season, like I feel like all the seasons I've been watching NASCAR, this one flew by the fucking quickest. I feel like it was just like a couple of weeks ago. I was ordering the fucking Icon diecast, and I literally ordered it the first week of the season, and it literally comes in the last week of the season. So
Like,
I feel like
That would
Like
be
I
crazy.
went to the Daytona 500. I went to the first race of the year, and it feels like it was like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just felt like the season's flew by. I don't know if it's because of the Harvick retirement thing, or maybe because we didn't have no off seasons, or not off season, but off weeks. I think we had like one the whole year,
Yeah.
so maybe that has to do with it. But it felt like it flew by. So I still think we got some work to do on this car.
Sally?
It's time to get aggressive.
It came and went. I really hope they do take this off season, do whatever testing they need to do for the short tracks, because I mean, a lot of it, that's what, and obviously you don't want to please the like old fans and all that, but a lot of
You have
it,
to, though, kind of.
yeah, they look
We'll
forward
die soon.
yeah, I mean, every time the season ends, I always think back to when I was a kid. I would literally be in tears after the championship. They'd give you like a little highlight reel of everything, and then this has been a production of NASCAR Media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like,
And they
there
don't still
I am
do that
crying to
anymore.
yeah, I'm like, there I am crying to my mom. What am I gonna do now?
Yeah, right.
And but I mean, it's been fun. It hurt like hell because this was the first year since like 2017 I went to no race at all.
I didn't go to one at all this year either. And it's Harvick's last year, so
I'm excited for next year. Got a couple places I plan on going
Went to my first and second Cup Series race this year.
Hey, there you go. I went to my third, I think. Yeah, third. I'm excited for my fourth and fifth next year. Yeah, New Hampshire's great. Love going there. So anybody that's in the Northeast should. Easy in out. Good show. Good distance race. It's a lot of fun. Great facilities. Wessel, any thoughts for you on the seasons as a whole?
10 out of 10. Great season.
12 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
No, yeah, like
12 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
They got a lot of stuff to work on. Hopefully this transaxle test goes well. Maybe
Definitely.
fix the short track package a little bit. I still think they need to, beat a dead horse, but I still think they need to work on horsepower or try to get more horsepower in these cars. It's probably never going to happen just because cost efficiency.
I don't think it's that.
They can get it back.
Jimmy Hamlin literally said the next day. So that tells me right there, it's nothing to do with cost. It's just NASCAR being stubborn.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even really NASCAR. I think most of it's manufacturers.
Well, I don't know
Is it
about
not?
that. It's just they have a tapered spacer on the engine every week that reduces it. So I don't know.
But I feel like the product on mile and a half was maybe a little bit better last year than it was this
Yeah,
year.
I think the same.
It seemed like as we got further into this season, the mile and a halfs were getting a little more stale.
It's the dirty airs. It's the dirty airs becoming a bigger thing because last year the car was new. Nobody had it figured out. This year, teams are getting it figured out and are figuring out how to get fast. When you get faster compared to other teams, dirty air becomes more of a problem the faster you get. So, dirty air is a big problem all across the board.
And then, I feel
That was
like
a problem with the last car.
I feel like this year was a good improvement on short tracks compared to last year, from season to season with the next gen car. We saw with their package change on Martinsville was an all right race. Not really though.
The best of the next gen era.
The
Richmond was by far improved. I don't think I've seen
last year
a good race at
honestly.
Richmond.
I liked Richmond last year too, just because of the tire wear, and they didn't have to change the tire to make it happen.
Yeah. But also same tire that they use for Phoenix. It's just wears more at Richmond. I guess the surface is
No,
older.
they used it at New Hampshire.
Was it New Hampshire?
The Phoenix was at New Hampshire.
But overall, I mean, it was a good season. Xfinity Series yet again puts on better show week in and week out. Truck Series is always going to be a trash can shit show.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, and then we'll go and we'll give I'd say because I wanted to do an episode where we kind of gave each driver a grade, but I don't really want to do that. That's just it takes a while.
Yeah, it takes too much time.
So we're not going to do that. But I'm going to give a little bit of a. So of course it's easy to say my star of the season's Blaney and the person I'm disappointed with is blank, but try to pick somebody that's kind of obscure to be your star of the year, and then give me somebody that you're disappointed with throughout the year. I'll go first. My star of the year is RFK. From last year to this year, huge gain for that team. 2 cars in the playoffs, one in the round of 12, one in the round of 8, which, considering where they had been the last 10 years, is really impressive. I mean, they hadn't had a car in the round of 8 since 2014. That was the first year of this format, and it was Carl Edwards. So, a huge props to Brad Keselowski, and shout out to Chris Buescher for winning 3 races this year. I know Daytona, it's hard to really say it's a great win, but Richmond definitely deserved it. Him or Keselowski could have won that. And Michigan, I think he outdueled the best car in the field that day. So great job by RFK. I would not be surprised if they continue their upward trajectory next year. I think they could get even better. I think Keselowski will get in the victory lane next year, and maybe Buescher will again also. But they're definitely my star of the year. Definitely excited to see how they improved this year and how they're going to next year. My biggest disappointment of the year has to be Chase Elliott. The injury, the suspension, but even taking that out of the equation, just not the speed that you're used to from the 9 team. I think less than 300 laps led this year. I know he missed 7 races. He had a good top 10 number, a good average finish, but it just wasn't the year you need from the 9 team that you expect to see.
Did finish 17 in points, at least.
Yeah, by a good margin.
He was the best of the rest.
He was there by 50 points, considering he'd missed 7 races. So that's solid, I'd say.
How'd the Owners' Championship go?
I think he ended up 7th, maybe. Let me take a look.
Thought we weren't ever going to talk about this again.
He was 10th, actually. He lost a few spots at Phoenix because they were
I think
terrible.
9th, right?
10th. So yeah,
I thought Bubba was 10th. Oh, well, Bubba wasn't in the Owners.
Drivers.
He was 10th in drivers. Yeah.
It was disappointing year because they didn't have the speed you expected to see. Their best chance to win was probably the Charlotte Roval, and I think it was out of his control why they didn't win that. So just a disappointing year. Didn't see the speed you need. 24 on the 5, totally ran laps around the 9 and the 48 this year. So hopefully Hendrick can figure that out for next year. So that's my biggest disappointment. Tegan, Sal, and Wessel, what do you guys think?
Wessel
going first.
I'll let Tegan go first.
It don't matter. Oh, okay. So So we're doing biggest what? Star and
biggest like
disappointment?
yeah.
Star and bust of the year.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give it to Kevin Harvick. I mean,
Okay.
he contended early.
The star and the bust.
Hey.
Kevin Harvick.
No, the bus is gonna be close. It's just Harvick. I mean, he wrapped up like he in his interview. He said, I went out competitive. I went out here flopping around trying to make a paycheck, which I kind of think was a dig toward Ryan Newman, but that's just me. So, it's just, I got to pick Kevin Harvick. So the bus is Stuart Haas. I feel like Stuart Haas did not do enough to make sure the season was better. They had, I think, a better season last year than they did this season.
Stolen
with a fucking car that they should have learned, and they didn't. They let everybody else fucking make leaps and bounds while they stayed the same. And not just like the Harvick car, but the rest of them ran even shittier than they did last year. So it's just not one car, it's the whole fucking team. They need to figure out, which at this point I don't fucking care anymore. They needed to figure out how to get money into this fucking team to do the shit they need to be doing, or the people won. And I feel like they really, in my opinion, they let down Harvick, even though he's not going to say that. And I think they let down the Harvick fans. So they're my bust. They're definitely my bust this year.
Well, y'all stole two of my answers. I was going to go Chris Buescher, RFK, and then I was going to go bust. I was going to go Stuart Haas. So I got to switch it up here. I'm gonna pick my star of the year. I'm gonna go Bubba Wallace. Didn't win a race like he has the last couple of years, but did finally make it into the playoffs. Not only that, he made it to the round of 12, and was honestly kind of a threat to make the final 8 there for a little bit. So I'm gonna big shout out to Stuart Haas, and not Stuart Haas, sorry, Bubba Wallace. And it's not only just Bubba Wallace, 2311 in general. Tyler Reddick won a couple races this year, got into the round of 8, was a threat to make the final 4.
Was the closest guy that was out heading in.
Yeah. And for the bus this year, I'm gonna have to go. Man, I can't get off Stuart Haas. Man, they're just something about them this year. They're slowly falling behind more and more each year. I think at the start of last year, whenever
I started having issues with the cars.
Well, no, at the start of last year, you thought we were seeing some light out of them. Briscoe busted out an early win. Phoenix
ran well early.
Harvick got back-to-back wins at Richmond and Michigan, and then since then it's just, they're not there.
And they started this year off good with Harvick. Harvick had top 10s in the first
Harvick
6 or 7 races.
Though. Harvick's a unicorn.
Exactly, and I think Harvick still knows how to overdrive.
We'll see if they're just how they were this year. They're not going to have a single car in the top 20 in points.
Oh, okay. Hot take for next year. I don't think so. I think you'll have a guy kind of close, but yeah. Sally?
Star, even though you already said it, and I'm totally taking Weasel for something glad he didn't take him. Chris Buescher. I'm pretty sure they were going to re-sign him, but this solidified that he's going to have a future probably for a good while at RFK. Dude, put Prosper, Texas on the map. Everyone knows the population.
30,000.
It's been really cool because he's one of those that you've seen come from front row, ran pretty mediocre at JTG, but they're a pretty mediocre team. So, and for Star, you could also throw front row in there. Michael McDowell, not front row in general. They really came up, showed they could compete with these big teams.
For a little bit.
But they fizzled out after he got that win. It's like they threw all their Easter eggs in one basket, and they busted after the race.
I have an honorable mention though for a team that was disappointing this year, and that's going to go Trackhouse, because this is a team that was very good last year. They were in the Final Four, and this year it's just Daniel Suarez was kind of nowhere to be seen all season, except for maybe spinning out or spinning other people out. Mostly was his problem.
Wow.
And then, Ross Chastain has more aggressive issues early on in the year. Has some success, wins 2 races. Hopefully, them winning this race, showing some speed in this last race, because Suarez was pretty decent at Phoenix too. They don't show him a lot because he wasn't in the playoffs. They focused on Ryan Blaney a lot that goddamn race, and as a Blaney fan, I was getting a little sick of it.
It was like all guy in the Xfinity race. Oh my god, the whole time it was just him.
Yeah,
He didn't talk about anybody else.
And Dale Jr. on the pit box.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that maybe with this partnership that they're going to have with Spire and having Zane Smith will kind of put Daniel Suarez maybe in a hot seat coming next year. If he doesn't perform well, he's
SVG coming to the US.
Also,
too.
I don't think SUV. I think SUV is going to be spending quite a bit of time in Xfinity and trucks next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be it's going to have to be a prove it year for Trackhouse and Daniel Suarez next year.
Sal, who's your bust?
Suarez. I didn't. I
stole it from him.
Yeah.
I didn't. I've always felt this to be true, where once you get your first win, the others kind of start rolling in. I wasn't expecting Suarez to come out this year, win 4 or 5 races. But to see him run as mid-pack as he did compared to what Ross Chastain could do, because even his bad weeks, like he'd show glimpse of lower top 10, top 15 maybe. And with Suarez, I feel like I never really saw that. He was either top 15, like from 10th to 15th, or in the 25s. And it sucks because I want him to do well. Because I think it's so important for a Mexican to not do well, but to just prove that not because of your ethnicity, you're like getting these opportunities. And I hope next year he does do very good, maybe a win. But this year, I feel like he just kind of put himself into the hot seat for next year. Because if he wins 1 or 2 races this year, I don't think you're having conversations of, SVG or Zane Smith is going to replace him if he's not good in 2025. You're having conversations maybe of, man, this team of Chastain, Suarez, and they're going to be so good, tough to beat. They could be a powerhouse. But yeah, it sucks seeing him put in that position again. But I hope he does well next year.
Yeah, because it is a big prove it year. Like, he's going to have to perform, or he is going to be out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley just burying him, as if we already hadn't done that enough. We do have one more thing we want to do. Oh, by the way, Wessel won this week's picks, so you get to be solo 4th in that. Bradley wins. Congratulations, Bradley, Mr. President. He is the picks champion for this year. Congratulations, Bradley. Hell yeah. So yeah, good work, Bradley. He wins. Wasn't meant for me. Picked Chase Elliott. Dramatically failed. Could have picked the winner. Actually, didn't expect that, but I was not going to pick Ross Chastain. So, yeah. We are going to give you each of our top 5 paint schemes of the year. I worked on, these are terrible looking PowerPoint presentations that I made.
Did you make that? I know that you quickly put this together because I didn't send you mine until about an hour ago. Or no, yeah. An hour ago. It was
all
probably
right.
like 2 hours ago, maybe an hour and a half.
With mine. All right. Mike's top 5 paint schemes.
Oh, God.
Number 5, Kevin Harvick Ream. I like this car. It's nice. The red is really nice on this car, and I've always really liked Kevin Harvick Ream paint schemes. I don't know why, but I always have really liked them. Number 4, Justin Haley Mountain Dew.
I almost chose that one.
I almost picked this one.
This is really nice.
It was between this and his
I like
car.
this car. I like this car. It's nice.
Car was good too.
Yeah, I almost, the Tide car was originally on my list. didn't end up making it. But yeah, this car looks great. Any Mountain Dew scheme really looks good. Number 3 listed as 4. I'll fix that. Chase Elliott throwback. This scheme with that number font to me, I thought was really nice. I liked it. It got a nice finish, even though it was destroyed at the end. So it looked really good. I was a big fan of it. Number 2. This car is so nice. I mean, look how pretty that looks. Riley Herbst, Sonny D came home with a top 10 in the Daytona 500. There's a couple orange cars that I liked, like the Tide car. I liked the Harvick Busch Peach car, but decided that this was the best looking of them. The best Sonny D scheme that I've seen for sure. To me, that looks really good. And then my number one is actually a scheme that ran within the last couple of weeks. It is the Tyler Reddick Martinsville Beast Unleashed car.
Yeah, they changed it.
Scheme,
He had
yeah.
a Monster Beast car, and they changed it for Martinsville. It was much better.
that scheme is awesome. My favorite scheme of the year. I saw that and I was like, wow, that is extremely nice. Basically, all my honorable mentions were Tyler Reddick cars. It was all the Jordan ones or the Rocket League one. Those were all pretty close to making it on this list for me. Wessel, his top 5. Number 5.
For the meme.
Talk me through these, Wessel.
So the 5th one, I had to put a meme car in there. Best meme car.
If you're not baconating, what are you even doing?
1 for that, and 2 because that car hit the fucking turn 4
Turn 6.
barriers at Chicago about 7 goddamn times.
I kept
So-
trucking.
Yeah, and it's a nice scheme. I mean,
It is nice. The racing stripes as bacon is really cool.
Yeah.
next one, I feel like this is probably one of the second best body armor schemes that we've seen. That's a preview to what's coming up. It was really nice. The camouflage kind of green and the red really matched together really well, and it also helps that he kind of dominated this race.
Yeah. Your guy here.
This was a fan car that they did for Miami, right? Where you could fans design cars and stuff.
Yeah.
I put one in. This one was really nice. I liked it. Like kind of light blues and like a light neon blue and a bright hot like neon pink are always going to be fantastic color combinations. It's those Vice colors. I love them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it fits really well here with the palm trees and shit and everything on it. And then the second, this one right here, I kind of want to go with a car that maybe not a lot of people saw. If you did, it was a blip on the radar. It went by really quick because it was getting lapped. It was this BJ McLeod, Andy's Custard car. I think the yellow and the bright blue really go together very well. And I think it was a nice car.
Yep.
And then I think this is probably one of the cleaner Ryan Blaney paint schemes I've ever seen. Sometimes simpler is best, just white with a couple black stripes on it. And I think it fit pretty well.
Reminded me of the Harvick 2001 car a little bit, which I think we're going to see in these next 2 lists. Sal, talk me through here.
I
See, we
love
all
this
liked
car.
that car.
Yeah, I think everybody
it-
liked it. Yeah.
it was really cool to see Mountain Dew back as a Dell Jr. fan. And then with the team, I kind of like in colleague racing. It was really cool to see on track. I thought under the lights it looked even better. This one I feel like
Y'all
along
copy
with
each other?
many other no
Fucking Chase
along
Elliott
with
thing,
many
that's
other Elliott fans, I think we were all kind of hoping and waiting for when this would be a throwback scheme. I absolutely love that they brought the right font with it as well. Alas Frescas, first off, really good. Like y'all should try this. It's always
What is
really
it?
cool for him to
It's
bring.
it's a Minute Maid like Mexican drink.
Yeah.
Orange juice?
I always
It's
love
not really
whenever
orange
he
juice. It's more of like some kind of fruit juice. I don't know.
Yeah, fruit juice. I'd call it fruit juice. It's always really cool whenever he brings like Mexican stuff with him to sponsor him, and I always like all the color that's put on it.
Hold on.
The Colombian superstar.
Kyle's picking all the Mexican schemes, man.
This one was really cool. Jordan on the car, and then Jay Balvin. I mean, he's
This
never
is really
been to a
nice.
NASCAR race ever since. Like I love how he put the full on effect, like winning a fire suit and everything.
Yeah.
I don't even have to say anything. It was just so cool to see, man.
Yeah, I had a rule for mine is that I didn't want to do throwback cars because I don't want nostalgia to cloud my judgment of the cars this year. Now we're gonna go to Tegan Slide here, and it's all nostalgia. 'Cause it's an old ass game.
Basically, yeah.
I stuck with one
Nostalgia. It's a nostalgia car.
So, I mean, I went with these next two. So, number 5 and 4, if you want to show them together, flip flop back between them.
Nostalgia cars.
Yeah, the movie was funny the first 1 or 2 times you watch it, then you realize just how fucking stupid it is.
It's stupid
But-
funny. John C.
It's
Reilly,
stupid
Will Ferrell
funny,
cooked.
yeah. But they did such a good job, them, these two, Ron Priest and Briscoe,
The whole
on promoting it the whole
Yeah.
fucking week from like literally Monday to Sunday. And so, I mean, you can't beat it. And literally, it's the same fucking sponsors. It's just not a throwback to like the style and the color. It's the fucking sponsors. So the only thing that could have been different was the number placement. So,
numbers.
yeah, you couldn't beat it. I mean, like I said, the movie's stupid now to me. I can't stand watching it. But maybe I'll get drunk one day and I'll watch it. So maybe we'll all get drunk and high next year when we do what we do, and we'll watch fucking Talladega Nights. So
Yeah.
Bush.
I mean, I really wish we had DLCs for 2020 cars on Heat 5, because then maybe the red Apple car wouldn't be my favorite anymore. It'd be the Bush Peach. So that's a good color for a car.
It really is. Yeah.
Who doesn't like peach? Who doesn't like eating ass? Not me. I'm joking.
Oh my, Quentin Spencer doesn't, I guess.
Spencer doesn't. I don't eat ass. So I mean, it was a good color. I wish we'd saw it more than once, but considering since last year he had a lot on his plate.
Nostalgia car.
I mean, it's a championship car. Who wouldn't pick it? How come none of y'all picked it? It's literally the car y'all literally said he should have ran this week.
Nostalgia.
So, leaving
So
it to you.
I just really wish NASCAR would have allowed them to put the fucking number in the center. It would have
Yeah.
looked really fucking good then. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. It seems like it's just an empty space. So 2014, watching the race, fucking nervous wreck. The last couple laps.
Spencer says he's just
20
kidding about
fucking
eating
cautions.
ass. Spencer, do you eat ass?
Did he really?
You just
He
said
just said
JK. You
JK.
said JK. You joking about do you eat ass?
You eat
I'm on the
shit,
pod. Spencer
ass sniffer.
passes to it.
Ready for number 1?
I am. So I mean, this is like I said, this is the car that literally got me into the sport. So, I mean, I wish they would have ran better. Great scheme though. You can't beat it. That's gonna be the number 1 diecast for this year, by the way. Probably my last two there are gonna be top 2 in diecast this year. Just my opinion. Yeah, I've already got it. So
Yeah,
I need to show you
agree.
another diecast. I'm gonna pull a Spencer. Just give me 1 second.
It's very nice.
Spencer's
By the way, this
comebacks
diecast
are
I'm
the
getting-
equivalent of no,
No, shut
you.
No,
what
you do. You eat ass.
There's
So
nothing
I
wrong
don't
with eating a little bit of ass, Spencer.
I don't
Yeah, it's
think
beautiful.
my coloring
Look at
of the fucking. I might need to turn the lots back to white or something. But this is a fucking chrome ass car. Cost me about $250. This is literally the car I ordered the first week of the season, and it literally came in this last Friday. So
What
you
the?
can't fucking.
What does Quentin does top?
So Spencer's the bottom. I knew it all along.
That is outlandish.
Someone needs to screenshot that.
Should be in the comments for good, right?
I think you meant to say 2.
It's too late. This is on the internet forever.
Oh, he's saying Quentin the bottom.
Quentin does top. All right. Yeah, so a great season. Yeah, the Spire's out of control. They are completely and utterly nuts over there.
Something just happened. What?
No,
Oh,
Quentin and
that's
Spencer.
fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, actual Spire. Okay.
Tegan, do we want to announce what's happening Sunday?
Let's go for it.
Do you want me to do it?
And
or you?
Monday. So we're doing the
No.
All-Star race
This
So-
Sunday night.
this Sunday night, regular time. So
Can I tell them where?
Yeah, we'll iron out the details of who's eligible and who can be eligible for the Open to race
Yep.
their way in. So yeah, go ahead and tell them where.
We're going to Fontana. High draft.
And then we're going to tear it down. Into a
Yeah,
short
we're
track.
going to destroy it after the next race, which is in a doubleheader
Next year. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to Fontana. High draft should be fun. Kind of wanted to go there for this All-Star race since next year will be our last year, probably with Fontana on our schedule. At least this 2-mile configuration. So we'll get another.
They
race
better
in there
rename the
as well.
track too. Don't even fucking give it the disgrace upon it, Fontana.
Yeah.
Or Auto Club.
So we're gonna go there one more time, do it on high draft. Should be a lot of fun. Not sure what the prize, for winning is yet, but we'll figure that out. There's a lot of details we still have to iron out over the next week. Kind of came up quick that we decided to do this. And then next Monday will be the award ceremony.
And schedule
So we'll
reveal.
Award ceremony and schedule reveal. Bradley is supposed to be here, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to do that. That's always fun. Maybe I'll wear a fun hat of some kind. You guys wanted me to, so I'll have to do some looking into
This guy
hats.
wants to be Chase Elliott so bad. I think I'm the only one that voted no on that.
Everybody else voted yes, so everybody else wants that.
I don't think I voted. I didn't care
He wants
enough.
to be
so-
Chase Elliott so bad.
So we'll have that next week. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm
Chase
excited.
Elliott fans or something, man. God,
You
damn.
are an idiot. You were
No,
like
he's
going.
not.
You were going to hell and back on a Blaney little defending earlier. You sounded about as bad as I do about Chase.
At least you don't fucking bring up. Are y'all feeling okay? Y'all ain't brought up Kyle Larson in the last 10, 15 fucking minutes. Are you about to choke? Kyle Larson. Is that how y'all are about? Y'all feeling right now?
No, I don't care. He didn't win the championship. I'm not worried about him. Yeah. So is there anything you guys want to say? This is our last real episode of the pod this year. Any final thoughts? We'll be back in February, right? With this. I'm excited.
Maybe.
I just
Don't
want to thank everybody. I honestly, starting this last year, I didn't think we'd be doing this
Still.
and weekly
2 years
and
in.
having a good schedule with it. But I'm speaking for myself here, but I really enjoy doing it. I love talking about NASCAR with you guys, and just to do it on this form is really enjoyable. And there's nothing better to me. Talking NASCAR with my guys, doing
I
it
can think
every
something
week.
better, but we can't do it on the pod.
All right. Had to ruin
Yeah.
a nice moment there. Don't say yeah.
Sal knows.
Yeah.
Do it again, Sal. Do it again, Sal.
No.
We'll fix his problem here in a couple months.
Oh,
Sal's gonna be a new man.
But yeah, I just want to give a shout out to you three. I know doing this once a week, you guys have lives. Wessel works. Sal comes literally straight from work to do this every week. Wessel did it from an office in the manager's office last week. And Tegan, you're here every week. So I just want to give a shout out to you three for being here every week and doing this with me, because as much as I like to hear myself talk, I couldn't do this by myself. So I really do
Shout out to Matt
appreciate
when he was here too.
Yeah.
And right.
for the
Matt's
first,
two dudes.
Yep, and Ryan,
Will
and
forever
JB,
be
all the
in the
guys
Hall
that
of
hopped
Fame.
on throughout the year. Just a big shout out to you guys, but especially to you three for being here week in and week out and doing this with me. And we had some episodes that did pretty well. This episode had 9 viewers for a while. So
Put Bubba
that's-
Wallace in the title.
Yeah, that we didn't do that this year, so that our views were down.
They had
We
that
didn't get
right
the-
opportunity.
We didn't get the Bubba Wallace plug. But yeah, super thankful for everybody. Super thankful for everybody that watches every week. Shout out Spencer. I mean, he's here every week commenting. He made an appearance this year. So yeah, anything you guys want to say before we get out of here?
I think so.
Nope.
Alrighty. Well,
Doesn't really feel like a goodbye because we'll be here next week.
We can't go. We went an hour and a half, and it took this long to get a speeder into the fucking thing. I'm surprised the sirens ain't going off now.
yeah, it happens every episode at some point.
That's why we had such a long episode. We had to wait for that to come
Right.
at the closing.
That's our signal. We can get off now in more ways than one.
It doesn't feel like a
Okay.
bye because we're gonna be here next week. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
strange.
true.
But it may be a shorter episode.
I mean, well, I don't know actually, because we got to go through all the awards, and I actually think I want to get people in here that are winning them. Maybe talk to them a little bit, have them go in and out, and kind of have it be like a revolving door. Those things are always a tough thing to tackle.
I want one on here when we announce it, and I want to see if he's high.
Well,
Puffin
he
Parsons.
knows. No, he said he'd come
Pretty
on
close.
here. He said
If
he
he
said
remembers.
come on here. Yeah. So we'll be back for that next week. We'll reveal the schedule. We'll do all the awards, and then the next time we'll see you on this podcast would be
Week before the
think
Clash.
week before the Clash. So what would that be, like late January?
What was this guy?
So it'll
I
be
don't even know.
Week of
I
February?
look at the schedule.
The Clash is like
Clash
the
is
first
in
weekend.
February.
Yeah, but it's like the first weekend of February usually. So it'll probably be, the Monday before the Clash. We'll be back with this, and we'll do it all again next year. So, we'll give another. Sing it, Tegan. I don't know what that song is, but
You don't know. God damn it, you motherfucker.
I don't know that.
Boats and hoes. Boats and hoes. Gotta have me my boats and hoes. The Pinta, the Nina, the Santa Maria. I do you in the
What the
bottom while
fuck?
I'm drinking
This
sangria.
motherfucker-
can you keep going?
Ronald Blaney wins the championship, and he
Oh,
just
my
loosens all the fuck up. Cal W,
Oh,
I better
my
get
God.
your fucking birthday before this night's over with.
I guess they're gonna play zombies now. They're gonna go have a night together. I'm
Happy
gonna play-
birthday, Spencer!
Happy birthday, Spencer! Happy Panther 33rd, baby!
Hope
We'll be
everyone
back
has a
next week.
Happy off season.
Yes. See y'all next week. And for the real actual NASCAR recap podcast, do next year before the Clash. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back.